Log active, Wayne Terminal 03A. Contingency Archive, 081. Clearance, Omega Black. Subject, Skywalker, Anakin. Alias, The Chosen One. Later, Darth Vader. Species, human, Tatooine origin. Midichlorian, count, anomalous. Threat, tier, supernova. Contingency class, fallen savior. When a soldier breaks, the damage is surgical. When a hero falls, the damage is theological. Anakin Skywalker was not a soldier, not a Jedi, not even a man by the end. He was a prophecy that turned on its authors. This file is not about Darth Vader. That contingency already exists. This file is about Anakin Skywalker, before the armor, before the mask, because before the monster was born, the prophecy was already corrupted. And if a chosen one can fall, then there is no such thing as destiny, only design and breakage. Birth location, Outer Rim, slave population. Maternal lineage, Shmi Skywalker, unconfirmed paternity. Anomalous factor, no known father. Biological irregularity, midichlorian density off all recorded charts. Interpretation, Jedi Order. The Chosen One, prophesied to bring balance to the Force. Reality, he brought an end to balance, because no one defined what balance meant. He assumed it meant peace. The galaxy interpreted it as control. Taken as a Padawan under protest. Too old, too angry, too attached, but too powerful to ignore. Mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Environment, a system of restraint, training a mind addicted to freedom. Observed tendencies, impatience, disregard for hierarchy, affinity for raw instinct over doctrine, deep emotional bonds to individual figures, force proficiency, off-scale telekinetics by age 14, combat response, lethal reflex under pressure. Psychological note, needed to be needed. The Jedi trained a weapon, then told him not to cut. Eventually, he did. The Jedi viewed him as their messiah. He viewed himself as their prisoner. From the Council's perspective, asset. From Anakin's perspective, cage. Vision episodes began early. Dreams of death, loss, separation. Force-related prescience confirmed. Maternal death sensed days in advance. Padme Amidala's demise, foreseen months before. He reached for control. The Order offered serenity. He reached for answers. They offered silence. Every prophecy is a mirror. He was forced to stare into it alone. Emotional anchor, total. Violation of Jedi code, concealed romantic attachment. Emotional analysis, possessive love, fear-based bonding. Final outcome, love converted to obsession. Padme was the last tether to his humanity. The Force couldn't save her, so he tried to save her from the Force. He failed. That failure rewrote his code. When Emperor Palpatine revealed his identity as Sith Lord, Anakin did not resist. He rationalized. He chose darkness not out of malice, but out of desperation. In his words, I can save her. I can stop people from dying. Objective, secure immortality through power. Result, death of the Jedi Order. Action, led assault on Jedi Temple. Slaughtered children. Rationalization, they were traitors. This was not Vader's birth. This was Anakin's execution. Personality fracture recorded post-Mustafar. Final conversation with Padme, filled with contradiction and denial. Confrontation with Obi-Wan, irrational, egocentric, delusional. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. This is not a warrior speaking. It's a mind unraveling. Rage became survival. Survival became doctrine. Doctrine became the mask. At peak, pre-Vader, Anakin demonstrated advanced precognition during combat. Telekinetic feats exceeding multiple masters combined. Lightsaber fluency equivalent to Mace Windu and Yoda. Mid-combat improvisation using structural manipulation. Ability to cloud force clarity for nearby Jedi during emotional flare-ups. If not for injury, would have surpassed Sidious. Would have made galactic resistance impossible. The galaxy feared Vader, but it was Anakin they should have locked down. Anakin's tragedy isn't that he fell, it's that he knew he was falling, and let it happen. He begged for help but not guidance. He needed truth. The Jedi offered fables. The Sith offered clarity and blood. He died believing he was the solution. He woke up as the consequence. This file exists not because Anakin Skywalker is alive, but because he proves that any hero can fall. He wasn't a villain, he was a correction. If another chosen one emerges, the plan will activate. Because prophecies don't save worlds, they break them. You can't confine prophecy, you can't bind fire with glass, but fire doesn't burn without oxygen. Anakin Skywalker isn't unstoppable, he's catalytic. Take away the reaction, and you starve the inferno. Physical prisons are inadequate. No cell will hold a force wielder of his magnitude. The key to suppression lies in behavioral disruption, not in barriers. This is a fight for influence, not resistance. At his peak, Anakin was capable of short-range precognition, advanced telekinesis, mind influence, rudimentary, structural manipulation via force pulse, force-augmented reflex chains, sudden aggression-based power spikes. Standard methods of metahuman nullification fail. However, partial force disruption may be possible under the following methods. Synaptic Dissonance Grid, SDG, Neural Inhibition Array developed by Wayne Tech, originally designed to disrupt Martian telepathy. Adapted for force-based interference. Emits staggered frequency pulses targeting cerebral energy focus. Causes micro-delays in thought-action execution. Side effect: disrupts motor skill precision. Limitation: 90-second maximum duration before overload. Recommended deployment: Containment cell floor grid, plus micro-drone resonance. Anakin's power fluctuates with emotion. His strength rises in proportion to agitation, loss, or perceived betrayal. Design parameters: high-pressure sensory deprivation, no access to light, time, or vibration cues. Neutral environmental stimuli eliminates target recognition. This prevents escalation loops by disengaging emotional triggers. Inspiration: Raz Al Ghul's Lazarus Restraint Tank, modified for force disruption. Cortical dampener insert, bioadhesive implant placed along the C2 vertebrae. Releases microdoses of neuro-inertial compounds. Purpose: diminishes short-term memory retrieval. Interrupts meditative focus required for force coherence. Risks: rejection rate 47%. Ethical breach level: red. Authorization: contingency only. Environmental stabilization zone: if physical restraint fails, deploy a force-dead space. Confirmed locations: planet, Mygeeto, partial interference zone. Substance: Isalamiri-based atmospheric filters, organically unstable. Theory: zero-gravity rotating chamber, confuses balance, orientation, and force targeting. Within such zones, Anakin's power drop is estimated at 60%, enough to reduce lethality, not enough for capture without overwhelming support. Note: these environments agitate him. Agitation leads to adaptation. Goal: starve the force. Do not fight it. All his strength comes from fear of loss. Recreate that pattern, then lock it. Implementation: simulate failure. Holographic illusion of Padme dying. Again. Jedi Council betrayal, reenacted via AI. Show Anakin his worst memory looped. Control outcome: give him an alternate result, one where failure led to mercy. Show that his actions made it worse. Introduce contradiction. Let him save someone who doesn't thank him. Let him see mercy lead to survival. Create a loop he cannot emotionally solve. That contradiction slows him down, and slowing him down is the first form of survival. Anakin is a mythic figure. He sees the world through fate, justice, and symbolism. Use that against him. Examples: his lightsaber, disarm it, then rebuild it in Sith red. Force him to wield a color he once hated. His Jedi robes, stain them with the blood of civilians. Show him what he's become. His mentor's voice, twisted recordings of Obi-Wan questioning the prophecy, undermine his certainty. The chosen one must doubt he was ever chosen. Anakin was manipulated into darkness by one man, Palpatine. This reveals two vulnerabilities. He responds to praise, manipulate via admiration. He fears abandonment, isolate, then reintroduce controlled dependency. Build an AI construct to impersonate an ally. Give him someone to trust, then guide him toward controlled withdrawal. Let him experience betrayal again, but this time, observe his reaction speed. Track his escalation curve. Warning: this is dangerous. If he adapts faster than expected, escalation becomes immediate. If emotional and force-based containment fail, deploy final neutralization scenario. Combine cortical dampener plus dissonance field. Use a neural feedback loop to induce unconsciousness. Follow with carbonite-based cryostasis system. Note: not permanent. Cryostasis holds the body. It does not hold the Force. This is a pause button. And one day, he will wake up. Anakin believes in fate, in prophecy. The best weapon may be to rewrite his story, deliver a counter-prophecy. The Chosen One is not a person, it's an event. And it ended with you. Dismantle the myth. Show him that balance was never his burden. That destiny was a script, and he was just a tool. If he no longer believes in fate, he may stop fighting to fulfill it. Multiversal parallels, alternate versions. Elsewhere, Anakin didn't fall. Elsewhere, he chose differently. Presenting him with these versions, recordings, holograms, variant projections, may induce identity fracture or self-comparison collapse. This is risky. It could lead to self-doubt. It could also lead to consolidation and exponential threat spike. Use only once. The Father Protocol. At his core, Anakin was a father who never got to be one. If contact with Luke or Leia is made during containment, do not allow emotional tethering. Do not allow unguarded visitation. Do not permit forgiveness scenarios. Redemption is their domain. Survival is mine. My goal is not to save his soul. It's to ensure no one else has to suffer its collapse. Final statement. Containment, reality. You cannot keep a fire in a jar, but you can starve the oxygen. This file exists not because Anakin Skywalker is unstoppable. It exists because he was unquestioned. My job is to ask the question no one else did. What if the Chosen One chooses wrong and never looks back? And if the day comes when he does, I'll be ready. You don't fight Anakin Skywalker, you survive him. There is no scenario where I outmatch him in raw power. He will strike first. He will strike harder. He will adapt faster. The goal is not dominance. The goal is duration. Long enough to implement contingency layers. Long enough to make him question the outcome. Long enough to make him look down at the blade and hesitate. That's where the opening lies. Primary combat risk factors. Anakin's combat profile includes the following confirmed advantages. Force-aided reflexes exceeding peak human response. Mid-combat construction of new strategy based on moment-to-moment feedback. Full-body force shielding during rage spikes. Single-strike precision capable of bisecting heavy armor and stone. Dual-focus targeting can engage multiple enemies via force while saber-locking one opponent. Estimated average time to incapacitate standard combatants, 3.6 seconds. Time to eliminate enhanced metahuman unit, under 7 seconds. Time to destabilize tactical structure with telekinesis, under 2 seconds. Standard frontal assault is fatal. Environmental interference, location matters. Do not engage Anakin on open terrain. Do not engage him near vertical drop zones. Do not engage in structures with exposed metal architecture. Optimal environment, narrow corridors, limits saber arc. High-density atmospheric pressure, slows force projection. Electromagnetic field distortion, disrupts lightsaber sensors. Unstable platforms, punishable mobility if his footing breaks. Best case scenario, underground, uneven terrain, zero line of sight access. Designated training bunker, Bat Cave Section 07 Beta, retrofitted. Strategy, the dark mirror. He responds to confrontation, but he reacts to reflection. Approach must reflect his internal struggle. You're not fighting me. You're fighting what you did, and you can't kill that with a blade. Psychological exposure reduces his clarity, slows strike precision, introduces misfires in his predictive read, and I need those milliseconds. Tactical engagement sequence. Initial response. Deploy decoy units programmed with Jedi combat data. They're not designed to win. They're designed to make him think. Every deflection costs him. Emotionally, mentally, strategically. Phase 2. Deploy EMP surge on saber lock. Disrupt saber matrix for 1.2 seconds, long enough for flash barrage. Phase 3. Initiate misdirection protocol. Inverted holograms, delayed audio feeds, false heat signatures. He follows emotion. I feed him ghosts. His greatest edge, mid-air adjustment via force propulsion. Can leap 20 E+ meters, rotate mid-flight, land with full kinetic control. Neutralization techniques. Deploy magnetic minefield to restrict airborne maneuvering. Gravity well grenades to destabilize momentum. High friction gel traps, resistant to saber burn for 4.8 seconds. Tactic. Force him to stay grounded. Once grounded, I can control his access to angles and cover. I do not carry a saber, but I know how to build against one. My current build, the Void Drive Gauntlet. Polyweave with cortosis filament integration. Saber deflective for 3.4 seconds. Sound dampening foam inside armor plates. Reduces force pulse shockwave damage. Arm hooks designed for temporary saber bind, redirection, and lock drop. Plan: survive the first 5 strikes. On the 6th, redirect. On the 7th, disengage. On the 8th, deploy shock-triggered energy dispersal into his exposed wrist gap. Even if I lose the arm, he loses flow. That's the win. He's faster than my drones, smarter than my predictive AI, stronger than my exosuit. So I go analog. Deploy: light-reflecting smoke bombs, confuse force pathing, disorientation beacons, breaks spatial flow, sonic pulse generators tuned to Jedi meditation frequencies, jams concentration, liquid metal dispersion traps, forces saber detonation or redirection. You don't overpower him, you force him to waste energy. The key to engaging Anakin isn't force, it's memory. He reacts to loss, he reacts to judgment, he reacts to Padme, Obi-Wan, the Order. You didn't fail the galaxy, it failed you. But now you've become what you feared. Each statement adds pressure. Each word pulls him away from the saber and toward thought. And thought is slow. This is not a solo engagement scenario unless there is no other choice. Recommended support team: Zatanna, Force versus Magic Entropy Interference. Martian Manhunter, Telepathic Feedback Loop, Emotional Instability Escalator. Green Lantern, Construct Entrapment during Force Disruption Phase. Do not allow direct contact for longer than 15 seconds per operative. Plan cycles. Move him in circles. He's strong enough to cut through walls, but not fast enough to catch everyone at once. Should Anakin enter a full force rage state, similar to post-Padme death, drop all offensive activity. Initiate mirror state tactic. Show him the battlefield carnage, injured civilians, ruined icons of the Jedi Order. Redirect him into moral memory loops. Last resort, deploy Obi-Wan voice loop. You were the chosen one. Repeat 3 times. Let the meaning pierce. If he drops the saber, disengage. If he screams, drop. If he cries, deliver stun payload. This is the only moment he's not a warrior. This is the boy who just wanted to be free. That's your only exit. When the prophecy becomes a curse and the hero becomes contagion, there are no prayers left to whisper. Only the act of containment. And if that fails, deletion. Anakin Skywalker is not immortal, but the idea of him is. This file does not exist to stop him. It exists to end him, permanently, absolutely, without allowing myth or ideology to resurrect what was lost. If he reaches final escalation, no mask, no restraint, no remorse, we initiate the Void Protocol. This is not judgment, this is severance. Final Protocol initiates only under these conditions. Anakin demonstrates force domination at planetary scale. Telekinetic wave exceeds 10 kilometers in radius. Emotional break reaches genocidal threshold. Resistance fails to slow or redirect his momentum. Redemption arc activated without result. Once these align, traditional engagement ends. We move to Erasure. Target zone, cervical spinal bundle, force core intersection. Delivery vector, cortosis threaded piercing gauntlet, or sonic pulse overload tuned to his nervous rhythm. Steps: engage in close-range distraction using hologram decoys. Deliver kinetic disorientation via flashbang 7+. Administer precision strike to neural stack. Trigger destabilization of force coherence. Disables lightsaber focus. Interrupts emotion-fueled projection. Deploy mirror field, reflective hologram that displays all major personal failures simultaneously. Optional final line: Padme is gone, Obi-Wan is gone, and now so are you. If death is achieved, there must be no shrine, no ashes, no memory. Anakin Skywalker is not buried. He is buried in silence. Body must be disintegrated at quantum level, scattered in non-force reactive material fields, logged under false designation in external archive system. Legacy wipe required. If even one believer remains, he returns as myth, and myth feeds corruption. Legacy threat analysis, bloodline instability. Anakin's children are vectors, force-sensitive, morally aligned, emotionally volatile. Luke, redemption syndrome. Leia, duty-first idealism. Both capable of repeating the same pattern Anakin followed. Create watchlist under code, Dynast 09. Objectives: monitor for emotional manipulation, prevent attachment-driven escalation, enforce Jedi code deviation tracking. Should either begin to believe in the Chosen One again, initiate cognitive dissonance operation. There never was a prophecy, only a mistake. Anakin Skywalker is not just a man, he is an idea, one that spreads. Every time someone says, "He was meant to save us," a child somewhere picks up a saber and believes emotion is enough. This virus spreads through faith, through stories, through desperate hope. My job is to cut the line, silence the story, rewrite the prophecy. There was no balance, there was only blood. And many will try to save him. They always do. Padme did. Obi-Wan did. Ahsoka tried. Luke succeeded, for a moment. But this protocol is for the moment after redemption fails. When tears don't stop the blade. When pleading doesn't bring back restraint. Rule: no second chances after the first collapse. Rule: no resurrection through forgiveness. If you have the kill shot and he looks remorseful, take it anyway. In parallel systems, Force users have broken beyond timelines. Variant Anakins have destroyed entire Force orders. Some versions never fell and became even more dangerous. Others collapsed and dragged their universes with them. Establish universal lockdown under protocol, Mirrorfall. No cross-import of redeemed Anakins. No exposure to alternate realities where he remained stable. No multiversal what-if storytelling. In every version, the same core flaw emerges. He cares too much and breaks when he loses. The backup plan, Oblivion Vault. If physical eradication fails, we resort to dimensional isolation. Construct a Force null zone, fabricated using Islamiri DNA sequencing plus entropic field grid, reverse engineered from Phantom Zone architecture. Inside this vault, time moves at 1,000 the rate of reality. Memory decay is constant. Force access is reduced to static. Anakin is not killed, he is forgotten. Anakin Skywalker was a prophecy, a weapon made in the name of peace, a broken child carrying too many hopes, a man built to shatter. He didn't destroy the galaxy because he was evil. He did it because no one stopped him in time. That's my job. And this file is my oath.